welcome a very familiar voice and face to Boston Bruins fans everywhere for her work on Nesset and the Bruins pregame shows, between periods, postgame shows, and many of her other duties. Sophia Jurksztowicz. I blew it that time. When I said it off the air, I was perfect.
You were perfect.
Jurksztowicz.
Perfect.
Jurksztowicz.
There you go. Nailed
All
it.
right, Sophia. Sophia, I understand from reading a little bit about you that your hockey interest started very young.
It did, yes. It started from as early as I can remember, and one of the earliest memories I have that was brought back to life via family home video. I don't know if I remember this until I kind of saw the video. But I grew up in Toronto and in Canada, and Hockey Night in Canada was kind of our Sunday night football show. It was like the biggest show going before Netflix, before you can flip away. That's what you had on cable TV on Saturday nights. And my dad loved hockey. He didn't play. He came from Poland. They didn't play there. Mm-hmm. But he loved hockey, and that was his. He worked many jobs to support our family. That was his one night off where he can just chill out and watch hockey, and I would watch with him. But we have an old video of me far away, he's zooming in, and I'm at a desk writing, and I'm writing all these scripts, and then he asks me on the family video, "Are you ready?" And I say, "Yep," and I go in front of the TV screen, and then I pretend to be a Hockey Night in Canada broadcaster, and I might be 5 or 6 years old, and I didn't realize, I knew this was a goal of mine in my teens. I didn't realize it dated back to when I was that little, but I was always dreaming of being a hockey broadcaster, and I'm so grateful to be here today.
Well, we are grateful to have you here today. When what was your first job in the sports broadcasting business?
Yes, great question. I started in radio. That was an internship. It was for AM 640, and they were the home of the Leafs color, and they were the home of the games there. Before that, just to rewind, I was going to from high school to high school and volunteering my writing services. Not everyone took me up on that, but I was trying to volunteer my writing and interview services. Some schools did, some didn't. But anywho, I was interning for AM 640, and I was basically getting notes, writing game notes, statistics for the hosts who hosted the Leafs pre- and post-game shows. Sure. And that's where it started.
And you worked in Toronto for many years.
Yes, I did. From the start of my career until about 6 years ago, when I came to Boston to cover the Bruins. That was at the end of 2019. So I missed that cup final run against St. Louis and, of course, many other teams. But I missed that run, and I came in August and September of 2019. But before that, I was in Toronto for 13, 15 years covering hockey.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did it come about, moving to Boston to cover the Bruins?
Yeah. I did a lot of work in Toronto, worked for Hockey Night in Canada, for CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, Sportsnet, a lot of different places. So my work was out there, but funnily enough, it was a small YouTube video. I did 1 or 2 freelance pieces, and I was hired to do a goofy game with a couple of hockey players. It was table hockey, and I was to interview them while they were playing table hockey. And we had 6 NHL superstars across the league for this, and 2 of them were from the Bruins. It was Brad Marchand and David Pastrnak. Okay. And this went up on YouTube. It may not have had more than 1,000 views. It's really not that big of a piece. Yeah. But somebody in the Nesson building came across it, saw it, and they said, "We like her.
That's her
chemistry.
That's
we like her, whatever."
Hire.
Yes, exactly. And so they found me somehow. I don't even remember how. I don't think I even had an agent. Through the internet, they found me, and they flew me down for an interview, and the rest is history.
Talking about Brad Marchand, and I saw you the other night interviewing Brad on his return to the Garden. You brought him to tears.
Yes, I mean he's an emotional guy. I didn't think he would cry if I asked him that question, but you saw obviously how he cried on the ice when the fans gave him that reception, and he definitely has such a love relationship with Boston that I knew coming back would be emotional for him. I'd listened to so many of his interviews in Florida when he joined and over the summer. And I don't remember if anyone's particularly asked him what his message to the fans was, so I wanted to hear that, and I didn't expect him to cry, but it just goes to show how he feels about this place.
And we saw another side, I think, that night of the little ball of hate,
Yes.
as they call him.
Yes.
And that he is a very emotional guy.
Yes.
And love the city of Boston and Bruins fans everywhere, for that matter. What is the most fun part of your job?
So there are so many fun parts. I love doing pre and post.
Yeah.
I obviously, when they're winning, it's so fun to cover the team. And when
Sure.
they're not, it's still fun, but you have to change your approach. I would say I really love, even though I host right now, if I were to pick like 30 seconds of the most thrilling and fun time I have, it's being on the bench for warm-ups and doing that interview, the pregame interview. The vibe is so high, the building is rocking, the players are amping themselves up on both sides, and they're skating by you, and you know how fast the game of hockey is. Sometimes my hair is blowing in it's just because they're skating by so fast.
Sure.
But I think being on the bench and getting that pregame interview when the vibes are still so high is super fun, and I love being in the room and asking the guys questions, even if it's after a loss, but it's so fun to get that emotion, whether it's positive or negative, and like translate it to television.
Outstanding. Well, you do a terrific job, and I know you have a presence on social media as well, giving some fitness tips and nutrition tips, both of which I could certainly use. Where can people find you on the internet?
Yeah, so my last name, Sophia Jurksztowicz, that's my Instagram handle, my full name. On Twitter, which is now called X, of course, it's the same thing. I'm mostly on Instagram, though. I think a lot of people are on Facebook and different platforms. I got to get on board, but it's a lot of work. So I'll stick to Instagram, Sophia Jurksztowicz.
Sophia, it is a delight to have you here.
Thank
and when
you.
I introduce you later on today, I hope I get it right.
You will. Thank you. It was a great interview.
All right. Thanks, Sophia.
Thank you.